And you're all very welcome back to the Galway Film Fleadh and to this evening's screening of Broken Law. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Cracking crime film for a Wednesday evening, and it's my pleasure to be joined now by so many people, the most people we've had on one of these Q&As so far. We have director Paddy Slattery, we have stars. I'm just going to where I can see people in my camera. We've got John Connors, Tristan Heanue, I've got Paddy Slattery, I've got Graham Earley, I've got Ryan Lincoln, and I've got Gemma Leah-Devereux. Hi guys.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you all doing?
Hello. You up, you lad.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on a brilliant film. I think the reaction online has been amazing so far. Comments coming in are deadly. How does it feel? I mean, you've seen it on the big screen, but how does it feel every time you see it go out into the world? Paddy, maybe let's start with you.
Oh my God, it's a bit surreal, and it feels, I can't really watch it as an audience member. I just see all of the things we wanted to do again, and all of the, I won't say mistakes, but just a lot of stuff that you see that you probably shouldn't see as an audience member. So it's difficult to enjoy it in the way that I'd love to see it through the eyes of an audience member.
Fair enough. Let's go back to the beginning and tell me about, because I mean, in many ways, the setup of, two brothers on the wrong side of the law, it's a classic scenario, but I mean, you put your definite own twist to it and a definite Irish flavor to it. Where did the idea come from?
Well, I guess over years, I mean, I wrote a first draft in 2009. It was called The Broken Law of Attraction, and that was more of an ensemble piece, kind of like Magnolia, where it was the theme of the film was fate versus coincidence. And so I guess over the years, when we had to condense the script down for a smaller micro budget, the more we revised it, the more we could see that was the magic, the real drama was happening between the two brothers. So we decided to, I guess, hone in on that drama and create it sort of outward from there. So yeah, it was a sort of an evolutionary process for it. I never woke up one morning and said I want to tell a story about two brothers on opposite sides of the law, if you know what I mean.
Brilliant, yeah. And on that, actually, I mean, Graham and Tristan, you guys were amazing as these brothers at loggerheads with one another. Can you tell us a bit maybe about developing that sort of brotherly chemistry? Was there a bit of behind the scenes work on that, of learning how to rub each other the wrong way?
Yeah, Chris, I think Chris needed a lot of work to wind me up, didn't you?
Did I?
Naturally.
We didn't really do too much work on the brother side of things, no, because we were kind of estranged. We kind of just didn't really. We just kind of kept we kind of didn't, we didn't hang out, we didn't meet up beforehand or talk too much about it. We kind of, because we wanted that the characters were supposed to be a little bit disconnected. So we didn't feel that we needed to do too much with it.
Yeah. Tristan hit the nail on the head there, because they've been away from each other for so long. So it's more natural that we just kind of figure out as we go along on set, But we both separately would have just talked to Paddy about that sort of stuff, who they were before, where the story's set,
Well, it worked. It worked.
Can you remember, lads, when we were shooting a promo for the film, and that was our first time to bring in Graham, and immediately that whole day, there was a natural chemistry between the two of us, just in our process for finding the scenes in the promo. And yeah. I just sat back and watched the two of us go at it, and it just felt so natural. So although you were kind of estranged and at loggerheads, there was a lovely connection there that underneath it all, that kind of way. So we kind of knew after that day of the promo that we found our brother relationship.
Yeah,
brilliant. And I loved as well, in comparison to your guys' brotherly relationship, I thought the relationship between your guys' characters, Ryan and John, was something like you guys were almost like an old married couple, the way you constantly
we are married.
Each other.
Come to one of our parties, but well, we built that up over years, that relationship.
That wasn't an overnight thing, buddy.
Bet your ass. If you've seen the Cardboard Gangsters parties, you'd know all about it. They released the director's cut, the making. But yeah, me and John worked together a couple of times, didn't we? So I think I'm a good mate out with this. So I think that naturally comes to the screen, and then obviously as you kind of get to understand your characters more, you can kind of imagine what they'd be kind of fucking bouncing off, and I think we got that down pretty well, you know.
Me and Ryan just fucking had great fucking fun on this, man.
Yeah.
We got embroiled in this sort of mischief.
As usual.
And there's no reins with Paddy. You know what I mean? So like, we had some fucking crack, man.
What did you say? Paddy's the ultimate actor's director.
Yeah, he just lets her run down the field and play with the imaginary leprechauns and all, and that's it. I've just seen this character as a character in this time of PC culture, and nobody can say nothing and woke shit. This character can say anything he fucking wants, and Paddy was in line with that. So thanks with the J's, you left half it in the editing room floor.
Up the yard.
Because my career probably over if you left half the improv in there. But that's I see that as that's some crack.
We could have cut the film 3 different ways from the amount of content that we shot, but we couldn't stop cracking our holes laughing on set. It was amazing chemistry between everyone, actually.
Yeah. The whole team was savage. Good stuff.
Yeah, the chemistry is definitely on the screen as well, lads. So I mean, again, terrific job. You mentioned Cardboard Gangsters. I mean, Gemma, like, how much of a sort of walking on set and being like, "Whoa, cast reunion" was it a bit?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the way I feel when you guys all talk, because I've obviously worked with John Cardboard and Ryan as well. I was with Paddy like from ages ago, because he approached me with the script and the part of Amia like really early on. And then Graham, I know anyway. And then Tristan, I've worked with him. He's directed me in a short, and I've worked with him. So it was really, it was great. Like, it was kind of like, it was a reunion with us all, to be honest. And I think that's why the chemistry is there naturally, because we didn't really have to work at the chemistry. It was every day was fun, you know.
Brilliant.
Well, that's what
Smart
I thought
casting,
anyway.
Paddy.
Everyone else like quiet. I'm like, I had a great time. Everyone's like,
Facts,
yeah, it sounds like a lot of crack was had on set.
no, it really was. Like, it was so much fun, and it was such a great script, and so much, you know, especially with my characters, there's so much kind of character arc going on, and so much fun to do, and so many places to go with it. So yeah.
Nice. And Paddy, actually, because Gemma mentioned the script, another thing that I really liked about it was, again, going back to twisting the classic kind of archetypes. It looked to me at the beginning, until, you know, about halfway through the film, like there was some very traditional kind of gender roles in this film. Like, you know, Dave was kind of like his mom's son, and you know, the other brother was like, you know, the apple of his dad's eye. And then, of course, when we learn about the dad's shady past, everything's kind of flipped on its head, including Tristan's relationship with Gemma. You know, how much of that was on your mind about these sort of classic gender roles in Irish families, I suppose, when you're writing the script?
Yeah, I think it's hard not to be inspired from, I guess, some of your own life experience and just people you grow up with. I like to observe, you know, people just in general. So there is a lot of that going on. But yeah, just in terms of relationships and dynamics, I guess we did want to dress the table at the beginning and give us the impression that, right, the story is going one particular direction, and then, like you said, around midway, we flip it on its head, and we see that there's more to certain characters than meets the eye. Even Irene, the mother, played by Ali Niker, I mean, she harbors a lot of secrets, like most Irish mammies. They're actually the real, for me, actually, personally, I think Irene is the real hero in the story. She had been heartbroken all her life and had to harbor this secret for the benefit of her 2 sons. And she gets the bad end of the deal at the end and hopes that she can formulate some kind of relationship in the future with her sons. So, yeah, poor old mammy there had the tough end of the bargain.
Yeah, can I just say that I think Ali just absolutely knocked it out of the park. Like, every frame she's in this film, she's totally there and just brilliant. And even just working with her, I did some scenes with her and improv with her, and she's absolutely brilliant and reactive and so present. And I agree with you, she's sort of the hero of it, like, I think.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And as well, I mean, I think, Gemma, do you see something of like, you know, the possible dark future that lay ahead for your character if, you know, these events hadn't transpired in the credit union that day?
Yeah, I think it's funny because she's obviously very unhappy at the start of the film. And then I think obviously meeting Tristan's character, Dave, she kind of has this light, like, you know, kind of thinking that maybe that's a way out. And then she kind of gets embroiled in this family turmoil, like of this, you know, the mess that happens. So I know she definitely goes on such a journey with them all, and then ends up, I think, in a really good place actually at the end, but probably not what she thought would happen when she first started out. So I really liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you guys a bit about physical acting as well, because I mean, one thing that struck me about your character, Tristan, is how well you embodied the sort of straight cut, you know, the good cop. Everything about your character was stiff, you know, in his interactions with other characters. I suppose, did you kind of break that down with Paddy as well? That's just Tristan.
That's just my acting style.
That's why we cast him. We wanted a wooden performance from Tristan, and he turned.
The director's joining in.
Actors, director, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was kind of he was meant to be real buttoned up. But the thing about the Dave character was underneath, I think he was always trying to live up to this reputation of his father, or what he thought he should be. But underneath, I think internally, I always had these feelings that he had these kind of feelings that were totally against that, and because ultimately his father wasn't the man he thought he was, and there was this kind of roguish streak, I guess, through the men in the family, and he was conflicted. He was very much a conflicted character, and it kind of, I felt the way he was carrying himself was all. It just, yeah, and maybe I went too far.
He's having
a dial-up connection. Tristan, you may sort that out.
Am I still?
There's a bit of stiffness happening right now, actually.
Connemara connection.
Am I back?
Oh, yeah. You're back.
You're back.
Maybe we'll pivot to you, actually, John, with the same question. Again, like the physical acting, the performance that you put on is brilliant. Like the menacing way that you can, you know, especially with the final scenes with Gemma, when you're holding her character hostage.
You're very frightened, John. He's trying to think. Stop. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
basically, I just tried to imagine me with a hangover.
I was gone on autopilot.
Depression mode.
That's default mode.
That's me off the set, coming down hard and willing to kill everybody.
There are no right answers.
But man, in all fairness, to be honest with you, I don't do this whole writing biography shit and figuring out absolutely everything about the fucking character down to a micro fucking detail.
So sorry.
I prefer to land on set and be surprised by myself, basically. And I am an intimidating fellow, like in 20 stone of travel muscle. You see?
Do you know what I know you as well?
Muscles pushing it, Johnny.
You can be very, very menacing and frightening.
Database.
Yeah, man. So listen, there's not a lot of thought into it. I just want to go back to my childhood and use that imagination side of my brain and just intimidate if it's there, whatever. It's not something I'm actually thinking about, to be honest with you. I think all that stuff, I've met actors who do the long biographies like fucking novels, and then they arrive on set and they ain't got shit anyway. So like, I'd throw it all away. Let's figure out what happens. And listen, you can arrive on set with this big fucking idea, and then the director will tell you something else. So let's just all work together and figure out this shit and get surprised by it yourself. You know what I mean? You smack a few people around, you smack them around. That's it.
He did not smack me. He did not smack
me.
There's no science.
When you still has a head.
When I was on set.
Thanks for that disclaimer there,
Anything as it was.
No, you're right, though, John. It's like being in the moment, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, generally.
We have some great comments coming in over on social media. David Foley says film of the decade. We have Mary Lou Fallon Carty giving hearts all over the place for the cast and the crew. We have to wrap up soon, but I just wanted to ask each of you, I suppose, considering, you know, you've made this film that's about cops, given everything that's going on in the past couple of months, What do you think? Do you think like depictions of the police in the media is going to change now? Would you still make the same film in the latter half of 2020, Paddy, as as the one you just made?
Yeah, no, I definitely would. I think the underlying theme in this film is more about identity of crisis and people looking up to people that we consider to be heroes, and then they're pulled out from underneath us. And I think we look up to a lot of celebrities in today's world, particularly celebrities in film and cinema and that kind of thing. And then we discover a whole different subplot to their whole life story, and then they're cancelled. And a little bit of that goes on in the story where Dave realizes that his father's not the hero that we were led to believe. So for me, that was the theme that resonated more so with what's happening in society. As for the guards and that, I don't know. I think, to be honest, I think the guards always get a fairly rough end of the deal anyway. It's a tough job. I wouldn't like to do it myself. Yeah, there's one or two really corrupt cops that shouldn't be in there. But
bad apples.
Yeah, bad apples. And there's bad apples in any industry. That's the sad fact about it. But thankfully, we live in an age now where social media can expose that kind of bad behavior and hopefully put a stop to it. But if I was writing the story again, the only thing I would change is I would add more flavor to maybe Gemma Leah's character, because I probably didn't give Amia's character the love it really deserved for that crime genre. I think I learned myself as a writer over the last few years post Me Too movement that we really
on the next one.
That we don't. And me personally, I just realized reading the script that I didn't write the female character the way that characters should have been, because I was inspired by sort of bygone crime dramas, that kind of way. So I don't know. Cinema is evolving so fast. Who knows what we'd write in the future?
The truth, Paddy.
I didn't feel like that about it, though, I have to say. I mean, I didn't feel like that about it. I thought you wrote Amia very good, and she's a very strong woman, so I don't... But maybe you would have wrote it differently, it now, with everything, maybe, but, you live and you learn, right?
What I love about your character, Gemma Leah, you brought her to life, and when I seen her alive there in front of me, that's when I thought, oh my God, there's so much more potential that I probably could have harvested on the page. So yeah,
Paddy, to be fair, Paddy, you're an old misogynist anyway.
Heck, nothing less here with you, lad. Fuck's sake. The hero, Paddy.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up, Paddy. I think you've made a brilliant film.
Great job, Paddy. Honest to God, bro.
Right, can I shout out actually to Simon Doyle, our producer from Failsafe. Simon and I we worked hard on the script over the last couple of years, so much of his influence and our friends in the industry that gave us a lot of feedback and steered us in the right direction. So believe me, all of the credit on the script does not go to me. It goes to the guys and the cast here that brought it to life. I'm not being modest by saying that, though.
Fair play. I think that word you're looking for, John, was magnanimous, not misogynistic.
Yeah,
Look in
that's
there.
right.
He's a nice guy, passing it on there.
Sorry about that. I don't grasp the English language well.
Lads, thank you all so much. Well done on a brilliant film. Thanks for being with us at the Film Fleadh. Hope everyone at home will continue to post their thoughts with hashtag Film Fleadh, so we can all continue to enjoy this great film. And thanks again for being here. Cheers.
Yeah, God bless. God bless.
Bye.
Yep.
God bless.
Bye.